Let's remind you of what the Health Minister, Dr. Joe Phaahla, had to say in the morning as he was updating South Africans on the latest in the country's responses and fight against COVID-19.
The rate of infections over the last 14 days has remained very stable at a low base. By yesterday, the total active cases were 18,568. This is when you compare exactly a month ago, on the 29th of September 2021. At that stage, we had 46,577 cases. So which means we are just over about 28,000 less active cases today as compared to a month ago. Total admissions in hospitals. Yesterday, the total admissions were just under 4,000 at 3,939. Again, when you compare with a month ago, 29th of September, we were just over 6,000 at 6,173. So just a little over 2,000 less cases, less admissions in hospitals. New cases over the last 7 days have reduced by about 22%. As I already mentioned, hospitalization is down in terms of the last 7 days, reduced by 14.5%. And also the fatality rates have also reduced over the last 7 days by 18%. Of course, again, we would wish that we would not be reporting any further fatalities in terms of COVID-19, but this is still a reality, although at a highly reduced rate. The overall positivity rate has been stable over the last 7 to 14 days at an average of just under 2%, 1.7% over the last seven days in all the provinces. We still see slightly higher positivity rate in the Northern Cape, hovering between 5 and 7%, but this is also a market reduction compared to where the province was, but there's still part of the overall reduction in the country. So where we are, ladies and gentlemen, the overall picture is that of a very stable infection rate at the low base, lower than 1,000 per day, much lower. On some days, just around 500, some days even below 500 new infections per day. But I want again to caution that we are definitely not yet out of the woods, and that any serious lowering of our guard can lead to serious catastrophe. We are learning from the experience of various countries. We keep watching what's happening elsewhere in the world. And over the last few days, we would have seen reports and heard reports from countries such as Russia, where they are going back into serious lockdown as a result of rising infection rates. And we obviously want to do everything possible to make sure that we don't go back to that situation of serious lockdowns. We therefore want to caution, especially those who are clamoring and calling for an end to the state of disaster, which will deny us completely of the means which are at the disposal of the state, because the state of disaster is simply a legal means through which the government is able to assist all of us to help keep us away from risky behaviors, which can actually lead us back to this serious problems of high infection rates, which can lead to lockdowns. In as far as the risk posed by the upcoming elections campaign, it is still too early to tell. Thus far, the numbers show that we have not yet experienced any spikes which can be linked to the election campaigns. But this is not yet a point of comfort. We know that even when there has been super spreader events, the effects don't show in a day or two. It can take between 7 and 15 days before you see the effect of a super spreader event. We are also aware that the next 3 days, remaining days before November the 1st, especially over this weekend, today, tomorrow, and Sunday, are going to be very risky. In fact, they may be the most riskiest in the sense that all political parties will be rallying their supporters, probably at some significantly big gatherings to motivate them to go out, mobilize society to go out to vote for them on Monday in big numbers. Notwithstanding the fact that most of these gatherings are held outdoor, the risk is still very high when you have large crowds gathering with no social distancing, no masks, and also, as expected, singing and shouting slogans, ululating for their leaders. This is a very risky situation. The higher the numbers, the more risky and the more congested, even in an outdoor venue. We therefore appeal to all political parties to approach their final push, the gatherings of final push, with caution. You all know what saves lives. Limit the numbers. We know that in terms of the current regulations, we all supposed to limit our outdoor numbers to 2,000 and the indoor numbers to 750 or less. Keep the distance even in those gatherings. Make sure that the supporters and those who are coming to the gatherings wear their masks, and also avoid clusters of gatherings before and also after the big meetings.
Minister of Health, Dr. Joe Phaahla.